We're about to invite our friends on stage. First of all, I'm Zara. I'd like to say thank you for coming to our first in real life show. Young Women's Music Project is very special, and I'd like to thank everyone that's helped.
Who am I? I am Anna McRae. I'm a student nurse at the moment. I'm in my second year. I live in London. I'm 23. Give you my postcode or maybe not.
My name is Valentine Sitole. I am the new session facilitator at YWMP and formerly a participant at YWMP.
My name is Eloisa. I'm an artist and I'm currently working on with a choir of trans voices and also writing new music that is going to be released soon.
I'm Mila and I study history of art and archaeology at SOAS in London.
I'm Destiny Shaw. I'm currently a student and DJ. I live in Manchester, but I'm from Oxford.
I met Zara, well, I actually met Ether first I went to Cheney School and we had a Women's Day and it was the first one that they did at Cheney. Ether talked at that day that we had at school about young women, so that's how I found out about young women's. And then I came to a few sessions. I used to busk in Oxford in the covered market. Used to busk every Saturday. And Zara walked past me while I was busking. and then she saw me and was like, who? I know her. And then sent me a text and then the rest is history.
I got involved with the project because I met Zara at this music production course I was doing, and Zara told me about YWMP and I was like, yes, I need to go. So I went to a session on my own, I think when I was like 15, yeah. And it was like, I think it was music production or something, wasn't it? I think it was like drumming. Oh, drumming, yeah, it was team drum. And it was so much fun. And I was just never looked back since. And I think I attended for like 3 years solid before I went to uni. Literally be there every Monday. Yeah, that's how I got involved.
I was doing an event at Avada, which my friend at the time created with one of her colleagues called Dawn Rose Red, and I performed there, and Young Women's was also there DJing, and our paths just kind of crossed, and then I wanted to become a part, and the first time I really became part of Young Women's was through the Womanity performance.
One night I remember I was just bored and then like I saw on Instagram that it was like, come drum and stuff, and I remember thinking I'm too old. I was like, nah. So then I messaged Zara and she was like, no, be on your way. It starts at this time, so. The 20th anniversary, that's like really stand out because it was the moment where there was also the first time that we like performed drums, and we were like, yeah, we trained it, we did it.
The second year that we did Common People, that performance really, I think, probably changed my music outlook. I think it was the first and only time I've ever played with a band, and they were all young women's people, and that was very, very cool. And I felt like I actually was a musician for probably the first time, maybe.
And I can't show you how if
And probably also like doing Common People when we did the BBC introducing stage. That was really cool because it was like a big like girl ensemble on the stage. It was just like great. Like I'll never forget that moment, like just being on stage and all performing together.
How did you feel today, like performing for young women? Nervous, but very exciting.
When we did the bedroom concert, it kind of aligned this space, like aligned with me coming out of stealth. So stealth like means when you're trans and you don't disclose your identity to anybody. And I basically came out of that shell and was like, that's not really fulfilling me.
I don't have anything specifically, but like everyone's obsessed with hummus. Is that allowed? Everyone is obsessed with hummus. No, Zara, you have me making my own hummus. Everyone's obsessed with hummus.
It's a disservice. No, we're not racist. Yeah. But like we are.
But yeah, through young women, you'll make contacts, you're allowed to do things and feel safe, which is so underrated. Like, it's not that we can't do things, it's doing things and feeling safe.
Our lives should have the same value as everyone else's.
We did a few workshops on like racism and equality and equity, so then kind of just having perspective on access, intersectionality, and how it was mostly on kind of environments like institutions or organizations. The way that the process is the homeowner asking the guest for the key to the house. It was as if, how are we going to open the door when we haven't built the house, we haven't lived in it, we don't own it.
With the other music like groups and not charities, but the other music foundations and classes that were going on around Oxfordshire, and I've been in and out of like quite a lot of them. They're all very like male-centered and centered around like classical music, and most of the teachers were male and had like, they were a bit patronizing. Sometimes they'd say some really sexist stuff.
In regards to being a trans woman, I feel there's like hardly any like out there. Like you could probably have like a handful of like trans artists. Like the pop artist that I could just name is like Kim Petras, whereas and even, you know, even for just cis women alone, there's like scarcity amongst opportunities, and also especially festival lineups, which is so blatantly obvious.
My experiences have more been when I've been to gigs and I've seen the artist. Like I've seen it's always the sound guy or like the, I don't know, like guitar tech man, and it's always men just being a bit gross. And I've only ever really seen that when I've been to other people's gigs. It's not something I've seen at a gig that I've played at, just because all the gigs that I've played at have been young women's, and that isn't allowed in that space. So
it kind of collides in transitioning, being comfortable in myself to like take up space and like opportunities when you're kind of used to being a marginalised person. You don't feel confident enough to take up spaces, especially in male-dominated spaces, for fear of like discrimination really.
I wouldn't be engaging in any creative things like subconsciously growing up, or maybe even consciously. My parents didn't really take interest in creative things I was doing, and I was always doing like different creative things. And there wasn't really the connect in my head that that was something I could pursue seriously, or even not seriously in terms of a career, but just for myself.
The technology and the software and like I can't think of the word, like the gear, for want of a better word, is super expensive.
Like DJ, I would have never even had access to like decks or turntables or anything. So having that, same with music production with the Ableton course, I wouldn't have had access to that at all because of like the money, and it's just quite hard. It kind of seems inaccessible, but I think through that, like it's helped me gain the confidence to be able to go to like something like Pirate Studios. I can go to now and feel more confident because I've been in that environment and like know the equipment through YWMP. So I don't feel like a woman going into a space as much being like, oh, I don't know anything. I feel like I've got that confidence and that like accessibility. Got to stage manage and DJ at. That's probably my first sort of time getting to DJ properly, and that's what got me into it now. So that like stood out for me because I think it like set the tone of what I want to do. Like I'm doing events at uni now because of what I did at YWMP. It sort of like sparked my interest, and, like cemented what I wanted to do. And it was just so much fun. Like I just remember the party just being like great and just like good vibes.
The really good thing about Young Women's is that you do loads of other things that aren't to do with just music. I think there's a lot of art that goes on, movie screenings, loads of things that I'm interested in. I was either introduced to, or it was sort of cultivated at Young Women's, like film photography, DJing was really good. Not just sort of standard, you choose an instrument, you learn a bit about it, and then you play the local gig. You do so many other things, you go to protests, you learn about so many issues around the world, you learn about so many different people.
Zara offered for me to like do music production, and I remember on the phone saying very clearly, I don't do music. I was like, you got the wrong phone number. I was really sick like over COVID, not with COVID, but it made it really difficult to, of course, like go outside and like given been given kind of like something to kind of occupy myself with making music production like courses. I was still kind of going like, I can't really sing and I can't really I think, and also the Black Lives Matter movement was really kind of prevalent, so it was this thing of like I don't know what to do at certain points, and I felt like, yeah, every barrier was pointed out to me. You'll see
I hope to just remain like creative and getting to like do creative things, whether that's as my hobbies or like career-wise. And I think like be able to still go to YWMP and being part of it no matter what, like where I am in the country or how old I am. sort of it still being part of my life, because it's like definitely shaped me into being musical today, and like again just being creative, and just the project keep thriving, because like it just helps so much. Like it's just unexplainable, because the things like the opportunities you get and the people you get to meet is just like not an everyday thing, so it's very unique.
I hope for the future of YWMP is that it just continues doing what it's doing, because it's like giving such invaluable, like, that's the right word, isn't it, or valuable, like space to like women and marginalised people.
I want it to be loud. I think the future of YWMP is going to be loud. That's what I want.
That's how we know. You could've hated that bitch. Just a little. You're so hold me down. You're holding me back.